Welcome, Nick. Thanks for joining us on our next episode of Who's Penny.
Thanks, Damien. Great to be here.
Tell us a little bit about the business.
So I'm a director of a company called Resolve HR, advisory consultancy to small, medium businesses that effectively don't have HR support. And we provide an outsourced advisory and consultancy to businesses that are anywhere between about 5 to about 180 employees across the landscape, from compliance, contracts, policies, documentation, terminations, to building all their HR infrastructure with performance appraisals and KPIs and engagement surveys, to then leadership coaching and culture, and then provide everything else in between with the what I call the Nick, what do I do scenarios.
So pretty much, in a nutshell, a one-stop shop for anything HR. So Nick, tell us a little bit about the current situation that you're seeing in the marketplace in relation to some of your clients and how the business is going.
Yeah, so I think the current situation obviously is challenging for a lot of different clients that we're interacting with. We've got a really broad base of clients, from clients that are struggling in hospitality at the moment with all the shutdowns and decreased turnovers of cafes and restaurants and caterers and those sorts of hospitality supply type things, to professional services firms and those sorts of companies as well. I was speaking this morning to a building construction client, and they're just coming out of their lockdown for allowing their workers to be able to get back to work. So current situation is challenging, to say the least, for most of our clients. But with some of the government subsidies and the government initiatives that are happening, I think it's helping. But there's certainly some real struggle at the moment, as I'm sure you're seeing that too.
Absolutely, but I think on the flip side of things, there is opportunities they also get created. So are you seeing some of those opportunities for the situation that you find New South Wales in?
Yeah, I think so. And I think it's allowing businesses to get a little bit more creative, and also allowing them to really form better, deeper connections with their staff and with their teams. And, it's hard. It is hard doing every meeting via Zoom or over the telephone. And so it's making them think about the way that they're engaging with their team. And, there are initiatives that are coming up that I'm hearing actually from them as much as they're hearing from me, which is great. There's a whole collaboration and sharing of ideas, and, things like, walking Wednesdays. And so that all meetings have to be walked outside. So you're continually walking around the block from your home. So you're doing some exercise, you're getting out, you're seeing the fresh air. And they're doing conference calls, or they're doing the virtual Zoom meetings. So that's just one good example of things that are evolving and changing for the positive through all this, I guess, what we're calling this challenging time.
I think it's. I think we tend to create some new ideas through challenges that we face, and I know that I've had a few walking meetings where two of us are allowed to walk around the park, and we're getting a bit of exercise, and we're also talking about business. And I think opportunities get created all the time. Where do you see the future going in the next 12 to 24 months? Where's your gut saying that we might end up here?
Well, certainly from a people perspective, from an HR perspective, I think the future is there's going to be a model, I think, for office and home combined, which is the new term now called the hybrid model. And that hybrid model will incorporate, I think, the need for then more policy from businesses in terms of how do they manage their staff that are working from home. It'll create more. I think the future is going to be more flexibility, and employers and businesses needing to think about how they can be more flexible and offer a more flexible arrangement to their staff. And obviously, some industries aren't going to be able to be able to do that at all. I mean, you think about a building and construction, you can't necessarily work from home if you've got to build a house. But from the perspective of a lot of industries that we're seeing, a lot of businesses, I think the future is around a hybrid model of combining the working from home the flexibility, the working in the office, and I think combining that around tight policy. And I think the government is also probably over the future going to start mandating more around, how businesses can structure, help structure the businesses for industry and for the marketplace.
I think there's great flexibility. The right employer who does jump on board, I think, has a great option to find a really great complement of staff who will embrace that new culture.
Yeah.
Like we always like to end our Who's Penny episodes. Tell us about whether you've got a useless talent, Nick.
A useless talent. It's a good question. It was, and you prepped me on this one, Damien. So I reckon the useless talent I might have, and sometimes can be a bit of a party trick, is I can do different accents from around the world. So and a story I love to tell my friends is that when I was traveling through the United States, after uni, in my mid-20s, I went to a party and I actually was doing an American accent the whole time, and I started talking like this, and people were just assuming that I was from Los Angeles or wherever I was.
Yes.
Anyway, and I'm talking like that the whole time, and then they said, "Oh, what are you doing?" And I said, "Oh, I'm actually studying acting, and I'm studying to perfect an Australian accent." And I started just talking like I am now. And the funniest thing was their response to me was, "You've almost got it. You've almost nailed it." And I'm and after about 10 minutes, I started to complain and go, "Guys, look, I'm actually from Sydney. I'm from Australia." And they go, "Okay, the joke's over now. You can stop now." And I was like, "Okay, this is like who I am." So the useless talent is,
international accents.
International accents. International man of accents.
And what about an old trend that you'd like to come back?
An old trend. Often I think about the TV show resurgence that'd be great, but I think often they were great in their times. But I don't know. Sometimes I think about some of the really great ice blocks or the chocolates that we used to love as kids. I don't know, and I'm struggling to think of any particular old trends right now. But I often think I revert back to food or something like that. It's been a long time since I've seen a Buffalo Bill or even the traditional style paddle pops now are hard to find, and I love that stuff. So Capri-Sun. Remember Capri-Sun?
Yes.
Yeah. What about bringing that back, the Capri-Sun?
We'll try and do that. Well, Nick, thanks very much for sharing some time with us today. It's really appreciated, and look forward to keeping in touch soon.
Good on you. Thanks, Damien. Thanks for the opportunity.
Great. Thank you.